Good morning, everyone. Uh, Today we are going to discuss the topic that is the von Thunen's model of agricultural land use. The outlines of the presentations are: first we will be discussing the background of the theory, then introduction, models, assumptions of the theory, concept of the economic rent, von Thunen's land use model, then finally criticism and relevance of the particular model. As far as the background of the theory is concerned, in this particular topic we will be discussing the models and theories in geography. So basically these theories and models are the result of the quantitative resolution and positivist ideology that led to incorporation of theories and laws in geography, and it is because of these models in geography that geography came to acquire a scientific status and geography became capable of solving various human problems. The efficacy, effectiveness and the acceptability of geography increased, that precisely because of these models. So here the first model that we are going to discuss is the agricultural location theory given by von Thunen. Now in the 19th century, under the impact of the positivist ideology, there began a process of formulation of theories and laws in human sciences, and almost in all human sciences theories and laws have been formulated as a result of this positivist ideology. So such theories and laws have also began to be incorporated in geography. Locational analysis was introduced in geography, and agriculture location theory of von Thunen is the result or is the manifestation of such positivist ideology. So this von Thunen theory of agriculture location was the result of quantitative revolution. The theory is inductive and empirical, and it is based on the basic concept of economic rent. Okay, as the second point emphasizes was the basic concept of the economic rent. So basically this theory is based on the basic concept of economic rent. Basically this theory is one of the earliest attempts to explain the agricultural land use in economic terms. The von Thunen agriculture theory is in fact one of the earliest attempt to explain the agricultural land use in economic terms, and this theory was put forwarded by von Thunen in this work of the isolated state. Basically what was the basic objective of putting forward this agricultural location theory? Basically there was certain laws, certain ideas, certain logic that von Thunen wanted to put forward. Now von Thunen in this theory wanted to explain why and how agricultural land use changes when we move away from the market. So this was basically the logic, the central idea of putting forward this particular theory. Then the introduction. This particular theory, the agricultural land use model, was developed by von Thunen during 1783 and 1850, or you can also say that in early 19th century, but it wasn't translated into English until 1966. So he was a German farmer, and his model is also known as the concentric ring theory of agricultural land use. So we were discussing about the models. So basically in this entire theory von Thunen has tried to explain why and how agricultural land use undergoes change as we move away from the market. Although this concept of economic rent was given by Ricardo, but that concept was different. Here in this economic rent, von Thunen proceeded differently within this theory, and von Thunen in this theory has tried to explain that why is it that as we move away from the market, the intensity of cultivation of a particular crop goes on decreasing. So this was basically the first aspect of this theory. What is the first aspect? That in this theory has tried to explain that why is that as we move away from the market, the intensity of cultivation of a particular crop goes on decreasing, as we move away from the city market, the intensity, that is the yield per unit, yield per hectare of any crop, starts decreasing as we move away from the market. And second thing, as we move away from the market, different crops starts appearing, that is agricultural land use undergoes changes. Okay, that is agricultural land use undergoes changes. The basic objective in this von Thunen agricultural theory is that he wants to explain why different crops are grown at a different distances from the market. As we move away from the market, different crops are grown, and even if same crop is grown, then the intensity of production, intensity of cultivation goes on decreasing. Now, to explain these two aspects, he made use of two models. Model 1 is the intensity model, and the model 2 is the crop theory model. Now let's discuss what are these two models. So this agricultural location theory is based on these two models. In the intensity model theory, or in the intensity theory, von Thunen explains why the intensity of cultivation of a particular crop decreases as we move away from the market. Here, intensity of cultivation means the yield per unit area is deliberately decreased as we move away from the market. The farmer will decrease the yield or the productivity per unit area deliberately as the farmland gets located away from the market. That is, the intensity of cultivation of the same crop will decrease as we move away from the market. Means the intensity of cultivation of the same crop will decrease as we move away from the market. Now let's take the model 2. Model 2 is what? Model 2 is the crop theory. Herein von Thunen tends to explain why different crops are grown as we move away from the market. That is why the agricultural land use changes as we move away from the market. Why is that? Why is that the particular type of crop is grown closer to the market, whereas other crop is grown away from the market? So basically these two models are the basis of the von Thunen's agricultural theory. So now, before proceeding with this theory, von Thunen made certain assumptions. So basically the sole objective of making such kind of assumption is that it is these assumptions that make these theories normative. That is, whatever models have been put forward, whenever we make some assumptions, that is, we are ignoring the real world complexities, and that when we are ignoring the real world complexities, that we are making the theory normative. These assumptions were made by von Thunen so as to hold certain factors constant, and basically to focus on certain more important factors that may introduce changes in the nature of crops. Actually, in the real world, there are numerous factors in decreasing yield or in changing nature of crop. In reality, maybe it is my personal choice that I like eating rice. So I am growing rice at a certain distance from the market. There may be no logic, no justification. So what happens in the real world? There may be numerous factors that may introduce variation in the yield or variation in the nature of the crops that have been grown in the real world. So in order to hold certain factors constant, and in order to emphasize on certain more factors which are responsible for the decrease or basically for the change in yield, or which are responsible for various crops which are being grown. So the basic objective of von Thunen for making these assumptions are to hold certain factors constant that are also responsible for change in yield and changes in crops, and to focus on some more important factors which are responsible for change in intensity and change in crops. He made some assumptions. So what was that assumption? So first assumption was that he assumed isotropic surface, that is, the surface is uniform with respect to every aspect. It is homogeneous in terms of fertility, in terms of relief, in every aspect the entire surface is homogeneous, means uniformity. What is the second point? He presumed all men as a rational economic man, because every person has an individual perception, behavioral differences are there. So rational economic man means even if I have a preference of rice, I will not grow rice. Means even if I have a preference of, means even if I like eating rice, but basically I will not grow rice. I will only grow that crop which gives me maximum profit. So these two assumptions will remove the distortion which are usually found in real world. If you take all men as a rational man, then my personal choices will not be a factor or would not be considered. I am a rational man, I am an economic man. I will cultivate that crop that gives me optimum profit. That is, I become an optimizer. I am no more a satisficer. So these were the initial assumptions. Then he presumed that at the center of the agricultural regions there is an isolated market, which is the third point. There is an isolated market town, and this market is having no connection with the outside. Means isolated market means this particular market is not having any connection with the outside world. That is, nothing can be imported out from outside. It's nothing can be imported outside. Its entire requirements are to be fulfilled by what it is grown around the market center in the agricultural regions. Whatever commodities are grown in the surrounding agricultural region, basically that will be supplied to the sole market. Then that basically is the no exchange from the outside. Then the surrounding agricultural regions cannot export anything outside from the outside, basically. That is the no exchange from outside. And there is only one mode of transportation. That is the next point. So all the transport route converge towards this isolated market, where whatever commodities are being produced that are basically sold to the central market. There is only one mode of transportation. Okay, I think this is fifth point. Only one mode of transport, that is the bullock cart. And the transport cost, the last point is the transport cost increases in proportion to distance. Means that is, the transport cost increases in proportional to distance. So these were the basic assumptions that were made by von Thunen. Now let's start the theory. Now before beginning with this model 1 and model 2, we must discuss what is economic rent. Okay, because this is the basic idea of this particular theory. So what is the economic rent? What was the concept of economic rent and why it was introduced? So the fundamental concept on which the agricultural location theory is based is the concept of economic rent. Now before proceeding with this theory, we must understand what is this particular, or what is this terminology economic rent in this particular von Thunen theory of agricultural location. So as the particular figure, looking at this particular figure, suppose there is a farmhouse located at a place 1, other at a place 2 and another at a place 3. So these are the location of farmhouses at F1, F2 and F3. So these are the three farmland or the agricultural regions which are located at successive distances from the market, and this is the market. This particular line indicates the cost of production. That is, von Thunen wants to say that that is, whether you are cultivating a crop here, or the same crop is cultivated here, or the same crop is cultivated here at place 3 or at farmhouse 3. So the amount of input required will be same. What is that? The amount of input required will be same. So the cost of production remains same whether you are producing any crop closer to the market or away from the market. Basically, in the production, the fertilizer, water, etc. are the inputs required to grow the same crop. So same crop will be same. Crop will be same. Therefore, the cost of production will also remain same. This is basically the transport cost curve. This is basically the transport cost curve. That is, as you move away from the market, suppose your farm is here, then in that case the transport cost will be more. Okay, if your farm is located at a position F3, then your cost of production and the transportation cost will be, if the cost of production will be this much, then the cost of transportation will be equal to the cost of production. If farmhouse will be at the place 2, then the production cost will be same, but the transportation cost will ultimately decrease. And likewise, if your farmhouse will be at position 1, so this will be the cost of production, and ultimately it will the transportation cost will be much less than the previous one, that is the F2 and F3 places. So in that cases, in these particular cases, the cost of production, the transportation cost will increase or decrease successively as we are moving away from the market. Now the transport cost curve, basically that is the cost of transportation is increasing with increasing distance from the farmhouse. Distance of farmhouse, as the distance of the farmhouse increases, then the cost of transportation will be increasing. The cost of production, whether your farmland is close to the market or away from the market, will remain same, because for producing no transportation is required. But as the distance of your farmland increases away from the market, what happens? As the distance of your farmland increases away from the market, the cost of transporting the produce from the farmland to the market will increase, and as the distance or the location of farmland from the market will increase, so basically the cost or the market value will depend on that particular cost of cost. That is, if the farmland is closer to the market, the economic rent is more. If the farmland is closer to the market, the economic rent is more. As the distance of the farmland is increasing, the cost of production will be same, but the cost of transportation will be more. As a result, the economic rent will be less. Means at the position F, the transportation cost is less, but the economic rent is more. As the distance from the market of the farmland is increasing, that is at position F3, the cost of production equals to cost of transportation. So basically the economic rent here becomes less, or in third case, what happens? The farmland is located at such distance that the cost of production and the cost of transportation in that case equals to the market value of the product. So in this case, the profit earned by the farmer will be zero. So basically economic rent is the net income that accrues to any piece of land which is over and above the net income that accrues to that piece of land, which is at the economic margin of production. Here this particular place where the cost of production and the cost of transportation equals this particular location is called as the economic margin of production. Economic margin, or this you may also call as the no rent margin, because here both the transportation and cost as well as the production cost of the crop is equal. So so what happens at the economic margin of the production, actually the net income accrues to that piece of land, means F3, which is at economic margin of production, is 0. So whatever income that accrues to any piece of land is economic rent. In technical terms, economic rent decreases with increased distance from the market. Why? Because as increased distance from the market, as the distance is increasing from market, the transportation cost goes on increasing. The economic rent is basically it is the net income or the land profit that accrues to this piece of land. So why this economic rent is known as locational rent? It is because the economic rent of any farmland, the economic rent or the profit accrues to any farmland depends on its location. Okay, if the farmland is located close to the market, then the economic rent is more. If the farmland is located away from the market, the economic rent is less, or almost it's become 0. Since the economic rent depends upon the location of the farmland, therefore it is called as locational rent. So this was the basic idea of the economic rent or the locational rent. Now we start with the proper theory or the actual theory. So this is actually the von Thunen land use model. So land, he has divided the or basically he has arranged the lands into different zones in terms of variety of farm products with reference to the market city and tend to be concentric around the city. So what happens, von Thunen suggested that a zonation of land uses around the markets develop. So these are the basically the different zoning of the land area or agricultural areas around the city market. So the first zone is occupied by market gardening and milk production, or you can say that intensive dairy and market gardening. So here what happens, there is a constant demand for fresh milk and vegetables in the city. So these are perishable items. Since the means of cartage are slow, so these items need to be produced close to the market. Therefore the price had to be higher so that they are profitable for farmers close to the market. So this will prompt farmers to opt for dairying and market gardening rather than any other land use. The second zone is basically occupied by this. The second zone is occupied by the firewood and lumbering. In von Thunen's time, wood was basically a bulky product, and it was in a great demand in the city as a fuel. So it was and it was also needed for building and other purposes too. So forestry yielded a high locational rent since its bulkiness meant relatively larger transport cost. The third zone is occupied by the intensive arable rotation basically, or you can say that the third zone is occupied by crop farming with fallow and pasture lands. So in the third zone consisted of intensive arable rotation, where rye was an important market product. With the increasing distance from the market, the intensity of rye production decreased with the consequent reduction in the yields. Then the fourth zone was basically occupied by crop farming and with fallow and pastures. This zone is characterized by sevenfold rotation of pasture, rye, barley, oat and fallow. It is a less intensive arable zone with some fallow land. Then the fifth zone is also called as extensive agriculture. It is a three-field arable system with more land given over each year to fallow and pasture land. Then the last zone is called as the livestock ranching. The farthest zone belonged to the livestock farming. Here the distance was so great that even the most extensive cost-saving method of rye production could not yield a sufficient rent to make it worthwhile transporting it to the market. Later on, what happens? Von Thunen incorporated two modifying factors in this basic model. First is a navigable river. First is the navigable river, where transport was more speedy and cheaper than on the land. And the second was a smaller city acting as a completing market center. So the inclusion of these two modifications produced much more complex land use patterns, where all the simplifying assumptions were relaxed basically. So now, criticism of the theory. Basically what happens, several scholars have attempted to test von Thunen theory that crop combination and intensity change with increasing distance from the market. But this exercise is not easy to carry out for following reasons. Okay, for first is basically there is hardly a place in the world where conditions of isolated state are to be found. Okay, moreover, internal variation in the climate, soil type often occur within a single area. So there are not many regions where there is only one market for agricultural produce. Second, von Thunen presumed that there is no spatial variation in soil type and climate within the isolated state. So much uniformity is rare. So such type of uniformity is rare. Moreover, the real cost of transporting farm products have fallen. So the advantage offered by optimum climate or soils have increased the concentration of production in such area. Then another point is changes is demand or price of the commodity. So because there are as far as the theory is concerned, by comparing the location of types of farming in relation to market, because some of his types of farming are no longer found. So the three mixed farming system with the fallow, which occupy much of the isolated state, no longer exist, as that was found in early 19th century. So then the invention of refrigeration has largely diminished the importance of the perishability factor. Not only the physical but social, political and cultural factors also affect the agricultural location of So and farmers also do not behave as economic men, as von Thunen has postulated that rational economic men. So cooperative production often result in lower transportation cost. So von Thunen did not realize that an increased scale of production of a crop leads to lowering of cost of production and transport, modifying the locational rent and land use pattern. Now the relevance of the model. Even though von Thunen model was created in a time before factories, highways and even railroads, it was still important model in the geography, as it serves as a backbone in the agricultural land use models theories. The von Thunen model is an excellent illustration of a balance between land cost and the transportation cost, and it was one of the first attempt to introduce or inculcate such kind of models to give a scientific look then as one gets closer to the city, the price of the land increases. The farms of the isolated state balance the cost of transportation, land and profit, and produce the most cost effective product for market. Of course, in the real world things don't happen as they would in a model, but still to test the intensity of agricultural land use and the increase of price and land towards the market, this particular we can examine this agricultural location at a local, national and international scales. Thank you.